All right, let's rock out some music history. Oh, through the bass!
All right, crank it up and lean into the speakers. This is Music History with Joey, and today we're diving into a Southern rock anthem that still smells like gasoline, Aquanet, and a Friday night you barely remember. Before we dive into it, I got to see 38 Special with Kansas last year. Great band. Donnie Van Zant wasn't singing with them. He's got vocal problems, so doubtful he will ever sing with 38 Special again. But they were still great to listen to, just sitting out on the lawn, listening to some great Southern rock. I recommend, if you haven't seen them, you can still check them out. They're great. We're talking about Fantasy Girl by 38 Special. Now, when most people hear 38 Special, they think guitars, big hooks, and that perfect bridge between outlaw Southern grit and radio-ready arena rock. But Fantasy Girl, that's where they proved they weren't just riding coattails, they were building their own highway. So let's set the stage. In 1979, disco's still hanging on by its fingernails. New wave is creeping in through the back door. Meanwhile, down in Jacksonville, Florida, the same swampy breeding ground that gave us Lynyrd Skynyrd, 38 Special is figuring out how to survive in a changing world. And here's the twist most casual fans don't know. The band's co-founder, Donnie Van Zant, is the younger brother of Ronnie Van Zant. But instead of copying Skynyrd's bluesy swagger, 38 Special made a bold pivot. They tightened the riffs, they sharpened the choruses, they leaned into the melody. And Fantasy Girl was the turning point. Released on their third album, Rockin' Into the Night, the song became the first real breakthrough on rock radio. It wasn't just a regional hit, it cracked the Billboard Hot 100 and proved these Florida boys could hang with the big dogs. Now, here's a little known nugget for you. Fantasy Girl was co-written by guitarist Don Barnes, who was quietly becoming the secret weapon of the band. Barnes had this uncanny ability to write hooks that stuck to your ribs. The song structure is deceptively simple, big riffs, driving rhythm, soaring chorus, but this simplicity is exactly why it works. It leans, it's hungry, it doesn't waste your time. And that riff, pure late 70s arena muscle, no frills, no psychedelic wondering, just punch you in the chest Southern hard rock with polish. But here's what makes it interesting historically. By 1979, Southern rock was in trouble. The tragic plane crash that killed members of Lynyrd Skynyrd in 77 had shaken that genre to its core. Record labels weren't sure Southern rock could survive. Radio was shifting, trends were changing. Fantasy Girl helped keep that flag flying, but with a modern edge. Instead of 3 guitars and a jam session, this was a concise, radio-friendly, built for FM dominance. And if you listen closely to the lyrics, there's something almost universal about it. It's not some hyper-specific Southern story. It's about longing, chasing something or someone you can't quite catch. That made it relatable, way beyond Mason-Dixon line. Here's another cool detail. Producer Rodney Mills, who also worked with Atlanta Rhythm Section, helped smooth out the band's rougher edges. He knew how to keep the grit but make it shine. That balance is all over the track. It sounds raw, but it's engineered to hit. And let's talk live shows. When 38 Special played Fantasy Girl in the early 80s, it wasn't just a song, it was a launch pad. By the time the chorus kicked in, fists were in the air, lighters were up, and suddenly this new Southern rock band didn't feel so new anymore. This song opened the door for what came next. Hold On Loosely, Caught Up in You, the polished hook-heavy era that turned them into arena staples. But Fantasy Girl is the moment it started. It's the sound of a band refusing to fade away, the sound of Southern rock evolving instead of dying, the sound of ambition wrapped in distortion. And here's my favorite part. It still holds up. Put it on today and it doesn't feel dusty. It feels urgent. That riff still struts. The chorus still lifts. That Florida heat is still baked into every note. So next time you hear Fantasy Girl, don't just hear a catchy rock tune from 79. Hear that crossroads, hear the risk, hear a band stepping out of a legendary shadow and carving their own name into the wall. That's your hit of history for today, guys. I'm Joey, this is Music History with Joey, and until next time, keep the volume loud and the legends louder. Stay sexy, stay rockin'. I'll see you on the next one. All right, crank it up and lean into the speakers. This is Music History with Joey, and today we're diving into a Southern rock anthem